All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the stream. Running a couple minutes behind schedule, but just wanted to make sure a couple things were in order. So, just get my docs straight and we will get started. All right, so let's come down here to the EFB. Let's go ahead and import our flight plan. That looks good. Let's go up to our overhead. Battery master is going to come on. DC service comes on. Come down here to aircraft. Let's attach our ground power cart. Let's get some ground power going. Let's get the packs and the circs on, or the recirc fan on. It is a little hot here in Reagan this evening. Emergency lights go to on. Put our panel lights all the way up to the top. Nav light goes on. That looks good. Let's come back down to the pilot position. What happened to my stream? Nope, I did it here too. Hold on 1 second, chat. Let me take the. You guys see me moving around or no? Doesn't look like it. All right. Now that we're semi-straight there, let's come back over to our EFB flight plan. We're going to send the flight plan to the FMS. We're going to set the payload. Alright, let's come down to the MCDU here. I think let's call up
boarding requested.
GSX. Let's get our boarding. Here come the loaders. And the ground crew's getting started. Alright, let's go to position initialization.
Welcome on board.
Alright, we are at KDCA. Plug that in. We are at gate Alpha 3. I'm going to zoom this in so you guys can see what I'm doing on the back end here. So we're going to take our GNSS position 1. We've got that down on our scratch pad. Let's go back to the previous page. Let's set our position. Go ahead and execute that. Next page. Alright, the flight plan is in there, so we're going to go departures and arrivals. And if I pull up the flight plan for this evening, we are going to be leaving out of runway 1 on the Horto 4 transition, or the Horto 4 SID with the runway 1 and the Jerris transition. We'll execute that. Go back to the flight plan, that looks good. I'm going to plug our arrival in. It may change on us, but we're going to be going for the Ling 3 with the CYYZ or Woozy. We want 24 left. On the Ling 3 with the Woozy transition. We're just going to take vectors at this point. And I'm just putting this in here because it's going to be a short flight up to Toronto this evening. Alright. Let's go back to the pilot position. Let's come over to our EFB. Got 83 passengers tonight. Cargo numbers are already in here. And we're going to copy the FMS data. I'm going to turn the IRSs on, chat. It's alright. Alright, V speeds 143, 144, 153. Our V speeds are set. Cruise altitude today is going to be flight level 350. Okay. Let's execute that. Let's go to VNAV setup. 250 below 10,000. That looks good. Target speed of 29074. Transition altitude is 18,000. Target speed 300 or Mach 74. Cruise altitude 35,000 feet. And descent target speed 290 or Mach 0.74 with a 250 knot restriction at 10,000 and below. Transition level is 18,000 and vertical flight path is 3.0. Good. Let's go over to performance initialization. We are done there. Our ISA deviation today is ISA deviation is 13. And our taxi fuel is 500. Flex temp is 31. Alright, so let's get rolling here. LCV open.
Information Romeo. Washington Reagan National, Information Romeo. 2352 Zulu. Wind 0905 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, scattered cumulonimbus at 4100 feet. Scattered at 7500 feet. Broken at 17,000 feet. Solid overcast at 24,000 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 23. Altimeter 3005. Density altitude 1400 feet. Arriving and departing runways 1, 15, 4. Advise on initial contact. You have Information Romeo. Washington Reagan National, Information Romeo.
Reagan clearance, good evening. Jazz 8783 IFR to Toronto. Information Romeo on board.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute. Jazz 8783, Reagan clearance cleared to Toronto via the Horde 4 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 35010 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.85, squawk 6735. Expect runway 1.
Cleared to Toronto via the Horde 4 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 35010 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.85, squawk 6735, expecting runway 1. Jazz 8783.
Jazz 8783, read back correct. Ground will be on 121.7.
Over to 121.7 for Jazz 8783. Alright, so let's come down here. Let's turn our transponder selector to 1. Let's go ahead and stab trim 1, stab trim mock trim, yellow damper 1, yellow damper 2. Let's get our integrated lights on. Get our floodlights on so we're ready when the sun goes down. That all looks good. Let's come back to the overhead. Go ahead and get the APU started. Let's get our wing lights on, logo lights on. Get our hydros all to auto. APU is available. Alright, let's clear the rest of these. Probe heats on, window heats on. Those will go away once we get fired up here. Our landing elevation, pull up my charts. Why is it not giving me the correct?
All aircraft information Tango is now current. Altimeter 3005.
Alright. Oh, I have to get the landing elevation. .547, so
Southwest 1494, request pushback.
560.
Southwest 1494, push and start approved.
Pushback approved, Southwest 1494.
Let's lower our stab trim, because our trim from the EFB said 7. Alright, let's get out of here. PC service can come off. Doors are all closed. Boarding is completed.
Southwest 1494, ready to taxi.
Flight
Southwest
directors are
1494, taxi to runway 1 via Kilo Charlie, cross runway 4, then Juliet.
1 via Kilo Charlie, cross runway 4, then Juliet, Southwest 1494.
pilot. Let's get out of here. Reagan ground. Jazz 8783 requesting push and engine start.
Jazz 8783, pushback and engine start approved. Tail northwest.
Push and engine start approved. Tail northwest. Jazz 8783. I think that was right.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Beacon light can come on.
Attention all aircraft, information uniform is now current. Altimeter 3004. Southwest 1980, pushback and start approved. Tail west.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, so we are looking for about 20% on the N2.
Set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Where's the wing walker to stop the southwest plane? Oh, they need to get working on this traffic injection. All right, we have 2 good engines. Let's take a quick check of controls here.
All aircraft, Victor now current altimeter 3006.
Copy.
Southwest 1980, taxi to runway 1 via Kilo, Charlie, cross runway 4, then Juliet. Contact tower on 119.1 when ready for departure.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Uh-oh, Southwest is going to run over the GSX guy. Oh, traffic injection. Alright, he's got our key. The bypass pin. Reagan ground. Jazz 8783 requesting taxi to the runway.
Jazz 8783, taxi to runway 1 via Kilo, Charlie, cross runway 4, then Juliet. Contact tower on 119.1 when ready for departure.
Taxi to runway 1 via Kilo, Charlie, cross runway 4, then Juliet, tower on 119.1 when ready for departure. Jazz 8783. So, we're going Kilo, Charlie, so we're going to go Kilo, Charlie, we're going to cross runway 4, and then we're going to jump right on Juliet and take it down to the end of 1. Easy peasy. Put a runway heading in.
Southwest 1980, contact tower on 119.1.
This airport looks really good. With these line markings, and oh, it looks so much better in 24 than it does in 2020. Reagan ground, Jazz 8783, crossing runway 4 at Charlie.
Jazz 8783, cross runway 4 at Charlie, approved.
Mike Juliet, Fox Kilo for 369.
Jazz 8783, contact tower on 119.1. Take care.
Over to tower 119.1 for Jazz 8783. Reagan Tower, good evening. Jazz 8783 requesting departure of runway 1.
Jazz 8783, runway 1, winds 100 at 5. RNAV Rev G cleared for takeoff.
RNAV Rev G clear for takeoff, Jazz 8783. Alright, we're clear there. Southwest got out of here. I don't know why they told us to start here at Juliet, but that's okay.
Southwest 3584, winds 100 at 5, runway 01, cleared to land.
01, cleared to land. Southwest 3584.
Jazz 8783, you've entered prohibited airspace. Advise when ready to copy a phone number.
Ready.
Jazz 8783, contact departure on 119.85.
Over to 119.85 for Jazz 8783. Reagan departure, good evening. Jazz 8783 with you, 4000.
Jazz 8783, Reagan departure, radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID. Jazz 8783.
Reagan approach, UPS 5218, 16,000.
UPS 5218, radar contact. Southwest 1980, contact Washington Center on 132.275. United 1140, contact Washington Center on 133.55.
Switching to Washington Center on 133.55, the United 1140.
United 1540, proceed direct Catrin. Cleared for the ILS runway 01 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 2500 until established.
Descending to 2500, cleared for the ILS runway 01 approach, United 1540.
Jazz 8783, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb, maintain flight level 220, Jazz 8783.
United 1540, contact Reagan Tower on 119.1.
Over to Reagan Tower on 119.1, United 1540.
Departure, United 950, 2000 for 4000.
United 950, radar contact, climb and maintain 11, 1000.
Climb 11, 1000, United 950.
Departure, United 1494, 2000 for 4000.
United 1494, radar contact, climb and maintain 11, 1000.
Climb 11, 1000, United 1494.
United 950, contact Washington Center on 135.525.
Over to Washington Center on 135.525, United 950.
Southwest 3053, radar contact. Jazz 8783, climb and maintain flight level 250.
Climb, maintain flight level 250, Jazz 8783.
Southwest 3053, direct Souls cleared for the ILS runway 28 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 2300 until established.
Reagan approach, Southwest 1066, 9,000.
Southwest 1066, radar contact. Jazz 8783, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, Jazz 8783.
Departure, Speedbird 216, 2000 for 4000.
Speedbird 216, radar contact, climb and maintain 12-1-2000.
Up to 12-1-2000, Speedbird 216.
Southwest 1066, direct Grafe. Cleared for the RNAV Zulu, runway 33 left approach. Descend and maintain altitude 1500 until established. Speedbird 216, contact Reagan departure on 119.85.
Over to Reagan departure on 119.85, Speedbird 216. Reagan departure, Speedbird 216, 1000.
Speedbird 216, radar contact. Speedbird 216, contact Washington Center on 135.525.
Switching to Washington Center on 135.525 is Speedbird 216.
Jazz 8783, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Reagan approach, American 1629, 1000.
Climb, maintain flight level 350, Jazz 8783.
American 1629, radar contact.
Reagan approach, Southwest 1747, 8000.
Southwest 1747, radar contact. Jazz 8783, contact Washington Center on 132.275.
Over to 132.275 for Jazz 8783.
Reagan approach, Southwest 3899, 9000.
Southwest 3899, radar contact.
Washington Center, good evening. Jazz 8783 with you. Flight level 2084350.
Jazz 8783, Washington Center, good evening.
Washington Center, United 951, 6000.
United 950, radar contact.
Washington Center, Frontier Flight 4353, flight level 290.
Frontier Flight 4353, radar contact. Jazz 8783, Washington Center, contact New York Center on 133.475.
Over to 133.475 for Jazz 8783.
Washington Center, American 1878, flight level 28.
New York Center, good evening. Jazz 8783 with you. Flight level 2854350.
Jazz 8783, New York Center, good evening.
New York Center, American 1570, flight level 290.
American 1570, radar contact.
We have top of descent coming up in about 21 miles, 21 miles, or I'm sorry, 21 minutes, 136 nautical miles.
Spirit Wings 8882, contact Cleveland Center on 124.325.
Over to Cleveland Center on 124.325. Spirit Wings 8882.
New York Center, Frontier Flight 4889, 17,000.
Frontier Flight 4889, radar contact.
New York Center, American 2861, flight level 370.
American 2861, radar contact. Jazz 8783, New York Center. Expect the Lining 3 arrival. Expect to descend in about 20 minutes.
Expect the Line A3 arrival. Descent in about 20 minutes. Jazz 8783.
New York Center, Delta 2934, flight level 370.
Delta 2934, radar contact.
New York Center, Brickyard 4462, flight level 310.
Brickyard 4462, radar contact.
New York Center, American 1405, flight level 370.
American 1405, radar contact. Jazz 8783, contact Cleveland Center on 127.475.
New York Center, Endeavor 5458, flight level 310.
Endeavor 5458, radar contact.
Alright, we got top of descent coming up in 44 miles.
Cleveland Center, United 2400, flight level 340.
United 2400, radar contact. Jazz 8783, contact Cleveland Center on 127.475.
Over to Cleveland Center, 127.475 for Jazz 87883. Cleveland Center, good evening. Jazz 8783 with you, flight level 350.
Jazz 8783, Cleveland Center, good evening.
We are coming up on just crossing over into New York, coming up Buffalo. We've really had some nasty winds the last couple days in the sim. If you were with us last night, which I forgot to save the recording, we had some spicy winds on approach into Newark. We had 31 knot tailwinds while vectoring until we
Cleveland Center, Delta 2313, flight level 360.
Delta 2313, radar contact.
So, let's see what the current weather is looking like in Toronto while we're talking about that.
Cleveland Center, United 333, flight level 300.
United 333, radar contact.
Cleveland Center, American 1578, flight level 320.
American 1578, radar contact.
All right, Toronto is reporting 15 miles visibility, VFR conditions. A few clouds at 2,500. I'm sorry, a few clouds at 25,000. 21 degrees Celsius.
Contact Cleveland Center on 125.875. Good day.
Dew point is 7, altimeter 3011. Density altitude 1200, winds 150 at 6.
United Tree, acknowledge last transmission.
Got 13 miles top to sun.
United Tree, please acknowledge. United Tree, did you hear my last transmission?
Cleveland Center, Jazz 8783, requesting descent.
United Tree, ATC services terminated. Good day.
Jazz 8783, descend via lining 3 into Toronto.
Descend via lining 3 into Toronto, Jazz 8783. All right, so looking at the charts, we really don't have any speed restrictions going in unless we go to 250 at youth above 11,000. So let's go ahead and bug up 11,000 on the altitude. Go ahead and activate vertical speed. Put the nose down. And we're going to go about 2,000 a minute.
Sunwing 5536, contact Toronto Center on 127.0.
Switching to Toronto Center on 127.0 East, Sunwing 5536.
Cleveland Center, WestJet 2277, flight level 360.
WestJet 2277, radar contact.
So if you want to see what we're looking at here, so this is, I'm following the VNAV information on the navigational display, and I'm matching that up to get me within this restriction at youth. So it says we'll arrive there in about 7 minutes. I got 56 miles to go. And in order to achieve that, I have to be doing a vertical speed of 2,000 feet a minute. Actually, I'm going to go down to 11,000. So literally, that is what I'm doing here. I'm just watching this number, and then I adjust the autopilot on my autopilot panel based on what the number says. It says to tail it back a little bit. I'm just going to leave it as is. We're still getting that quartering headwind from 281 at 49 knots, so that's slowing us down a little bit as well. So right here, with that wind hitting us, we're only doing ground speed of 338, even though the indicated airspeed is 379.
Jazz 8783, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Jazz 8783. Have to get the speed brakes out now. And we're coming up on 18,000 here shortly, so quick.
Cleveland Center, Brickyard 4521, flight level 320.
Brickyard 4521, radar contact. Jazz 8783, contact Toronto Center on 127.0.
Toronto Center 127.0, Jazz 8783. Toronto Center, good evening, Jazz 8783 with you. Flight level 176 down to 11,000, descending on the Ling 3 arrival.
Jazz 8783, Toronto Center identified. Good evening, Toronto altimeter 30.09er.
So we're at 3009er. Let's go ahead and adjust our altimeter down. Let's go ahead and go back to idle. Depending on how new or old you are to Flight Simulator. If you're very new, this plane does not have auto throttle. It's not like a Airbus, any of the 320 family or 330, 350.
Jazz 8783, Toronto Center, contact Toronto approach on 124.475.
Over to Toronto approach 124.475, Jazz 8783. Toronto approach, good evening, Jazz 8783 with you. 15,400 going down to 11,000, descending up on the Ling 3 arrival.
Jazz 8783, Toronto approach identified. Good evening. Toronto altimeter 30.09er. Expect the ILS runway 24 left approach into Toronto.
Expect the ILS 24 left approach into Toronto, Jazz 8783.
Toronto approach, Air Canada 619er, 7,000.
Air Canada 619er, radar contact.
We are officially in Canada. We crossed it at last point of Iston. Coming up on Ling. We are crossing over, I believe it's Lake Ontario.
Jazz 8783, speed 210 knots.
Speed 210 knots, Jazz 8783. $237. Alright, we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Make sure we get our turnoffs on.
Air Canada 619er, proceed direct OM talk. Cleared for the ILS runway 23 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 3000 until established.
Descending to 3000, cleared for the ILS runway 23 approach, Air Canada 619er.
Jazz 854, direct Bethany. Cleared for the ILS runway 15 left approach. Descend and maintain altitude 3000 until established.
Down to 3000, cleared for the ILS runway 15 left approach, Jazz 854.
Jazz 854, contact Toronto Tower on 118.35.
Switching to Toronto Tower on 118.35, Jazz 854. Toronto Tower, Jazz 854, established on the ILS runway 15 left.
Jazz 854, Jazz 854, roger.
Toronto Center, Jazz 8783, requesting further descent.
Jazz 8783, descend altitude 7,000 feet, altimeter 30.12.
Send it down to 7,000, altimeter 3012, Jazz 8783.
Jazz 8783, descend altitude 4,000, turn right heading 230 vectors for the ILS runway 24 left approach. Jazz 8783, turn left heading 230. Jazz 8783, 9 miles from list to you. Turn left heading 260, descend altitude 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 24 left approach.
Turn left heading 260, descend altitude 3,000 until established on the localizer, Jazz 8783. Jazz 8783 requesting further vectoring.
Jazz 8783, descend altitude 3,000 feet.
Send out to 3,000 feet, Jazz 8783.
Jazz 8783, contact Toronto Tower on 118.35.
Over to Toronto Tower, 118.35, Jazz 8783. Toronto Tower, good evening, Jazz 8783.
Jazz 8783, Toronto Tower. Good evening. Continue approach runway 24 left. Winds calm.
Continue approach 24 left, Jazz 8783.
Air Canada 112, contact ground on 119.1.
Ground Air Canada 112.
Jazz 8783, winds calm. Runway 24 left, cleared to land.
Jazz 8783, declare missed approach.
Jazz 8783, landing clearance canceled. Execute missed approach procedure. Contact departure on 124.475.
Over to 124.475 for Jazz 8783. Toronto approach, good evening. Jazz 8783 declaring missed approach.
Jazz 8783, departure, roger. Execute missed approach. Give me 1 second. Jazz 8783, departure, turn left, heading 060 vectors for the ILS runway 24 left approach.
Turn left heading 060 vectors for the ILS 24 left approach, Jazz 8783.
departure, WestJet 439er 2000 for 4000.
WestJet 439er, radar contact, climb and maintain 11-11,000.
Up to 11-11,000, WestJet 439er.
WestJet 439er contact, Toronto departure on 128.8.
Switching to Toronto departure on 128.8, WestJet 439er. Toronto departure, WestJet 439er 1000.
WestJet 439er, radar contact. Air Canada 745 contact, Toronto departure on 128.8.
Switching to Toronto departure on 128.8, Air Canada 745.
Jazz 8783, turn left, heading 030.
Turn left heading 030, Jazz 8783.
Toronto departure, Air Canada 745, 1000.
Air Canada 745, radar contact. Air Canada 745, contact Toronto Centre on 127.0.
Over to Toronto Centre on 127.0, Air Canada 745.
Departure, Air Canada 269er 2000 for 4000.
Air Canada 269er, radar contact, climb and maintain 11-11,000.
Climb 11-11,000, Air Canada 269er.
Jazz 8783, turn right, heading 085. Air Canada.
Turn right heading 085, Jazz 8783.
Switching to Toronto departure on 128.8, he's Air Canada 269er. Toronto departure, Air Canada 269er 1000.
Air Canada 269er, radar contact. Jazz 8783, 5 miles from list to you. Turn right heading 180 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 24 left approach.
Departure Air Canada 125 2000 for 4000.
Turn right heading 180 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS 24 left approach. Jazz 8783.
WestJet 439er, contact Toronto Center on 128.275. Air Canada 125, contact Toronto departure on 128.8.
Switching to Toronto departure on 128.8, Air Canada 125. Toronto departure, Air Canada 125 1000.
Air Canada 125, radar contact. Air Canada 125, contact Toronto Center on 127.0.
Over to Toronto Center on 127.0, dear Air Canada 125.
Departure Porter 503 2000 for 4000.
Porter 503, radar contact, climb and maintain 12, 2000.
Up to 12, 2000, Porter 503.
Porter 503, contact Toronto departure on 128.8.
Switching to Toronto departure on 128.8, Porter 503.
Toronto approach, Porter 306, flight level 120.
Porter 306, radar contact.
Toronto departure, Porter 503 1000.
Porter 503, radar contact. Jazz 8783, contact Toronto Tower on 118.35.
Over to tower 118.35, Jazz 8783.
Air.
Jazz 8783, Toronto Tower, Jazz 8783. 11-mile final, runway 24 left.
Jazz 8783, Toronto Tower, winds calm. Runway 24 left, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, Jazz 8783. Alright, let's go ahead and get configured down here. VREF is 142.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Jazz 8783, welcome to Toronto. Contact ground on 119.1.
Over to 119.1, Jazz 8783. Toronto ground, good evening. Jazz 8783, vacated runway 24 left, request taxi to the gate.
Jazz 8783, taxi to B7F via Delta 4, cross runway 06 left, then Charlie Alpha Alpha Tango, good day.
Taxi to B7F via Delta 4, cross runway 6 left, then Charlie Alpha Alpha Tango, Jazz 8783. Well, I overheated the brakes on that one. But I got a little flustered and forgot to turn the reversers on when I touched down. Toronto ground, Jazz 8783, crossing runway 6 left.
Jazz 8783, cross runway 06 left approved.
Cross runway 6 left approved, Jazz 8783. Landing lights can come off. Taxi lights go on. Strobes can come off. Let's stop for let's slow it down a second here. So he said we'll clear the runway area. He said Delta 4 and we're going to go over to Charlie. Alpha, Alpha Tango. This is Charlie right here.
Air Canada 173, contact tower on 118.35.
Switching to tower, Air Canada 173.
Oh, damn, that was a greaser. 175. Give me that grease.
Brickyard 3466, ready to taxi.
Brickyard 3466, taxi to runway 24 right via Alpha Golf Alpha Delta.
24 right via Alpha Golf Alpha Delta Brickyard 3466.
That is by far my best landing ever in this aircraft. Seriously, best landing ever.
Ground Porter 306, taxi to parking.
Porter 306, taxi to parking via Delta 8. Delta, Charlie 4, Charlie, Alpha, Alpha Juliet, Tango 3.
Delta 8, Delta, Charlie 4, Charlie, Alpha, Alpha Juliet, Tango 3, Porter 306.
Air Canada 1033, ready to taxi.
Air Canada 1033, taxi to runway 33 right via 8, Alpha Lima, Alpha Delta.
33 right via 8, Alpha Lima, Alpha Delta, Air Canada 1033.
is no Alpha Tango. On this map. Alright, let's see 4. Okay, so we're right here.
Air Canada 836, request push and start.
Air Canada 836, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, Air Canada 836.
ICER 38 Charlie, request push and start. Pushback approved, ICER 38 Charlie.
Alright, so I gotta go all... Gave me a freaking shit. So... I am going all the way in the back here. So from where I'm at,
Air Canada 836, ready to taxi.
Air Canada 836, taxi to runway 33 right via Delta Papa, Delta.
33 right via Delta Papa, Delta Air Canada 836.
alright, there's Alpha Tango. So I'm gonna go up to Alpha.
ICER 38 Charlie, ready to taxi.
This is a nice scenery though, it's nice and laid out.
ICER 38 Charlie, taxi to runway 24 right via Tango 3, Tango 1, Delta Victor.
24 right via Tango 3, Tango 1, Delta Victor, ICER 38 Charlie.
Ground, Air Canada 1124, taxi to the ramp.
Air Canada 1124, taxi to parking via Delta 8, Delta Charlie 4, Charlie Alpha, Alpha Kilo Sierra India X-ray.
Delta 8, Delta Charlie 4, Charlie Alpha, Alpha Kilo Sierra India X-ray, Air Canada 1124.
Alright, the traffic makes no sense. park all around then. The traffic makes 0 sense because he literally just gave me
Ground, Air Canada 467, taxi to parking.
Air Canada 467, taxi to parking via Bravo, Delta, Delta Romeo, 9er.
Bravo, Delta, Delta Romeo 9er, Air Canada 467.
Well, you guys are getting the grand tour of the Fly Tampa Toronto Pearson Airport.
Ground, Air Canada 1286, taxi to the ramp.
Air Canada 1286, taxi to parking via Delta 8, Delta, Charlie 4, Charlie, Delta 3, Delta Quebec, Tango 1, 9er.
Delta 8, Delta, Charlie 4, Charlie, Delta 3, Delta Quebec, Tango 1, 9er, Air Canada 1286. Ground, WestJet 2513, taxi to parking.
WestJet 2513, taxi to parking via Tango, Alpha, Alpha Kilo 5.
Let me just say this.
Tango, Alpha, Alpha Kilo 5, WestJet 2513.
So much better than any Asobo airport. And that's being brutally honest. The Toronto Pearson for this that generates in the sim itself, hot garbage. Just like so many of the other airports that Asobo randomly generates. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few of them that are okay, but when I compare Toronto Pearson, this versus Toronto Pearson Asobo, there is no comparison. Fly Tampa is king. Maybe I'll get you guys out to Vegas sometime next week. And,
Air Canada 467, give way to the Porter Embraer 295 on your right.
runway to the Porter Embraer 295, Air Canada 467.
Hopefully,
WestJet 2513, give way to the Air Canada ahead.
Giving way to the Air Canada C Series, WestJet 2513.
Porter 527, request pushback.
Porter 527, push and start approved.
Pushback and start approved. Porter 527.
Give way to the company ahead.
We'll give way to the company C Series, Air Canada 1124.
Porter 527, ready to taxi.
Porter 527, taxi to runway 23 via Alpha Juliet Alpha Hotel.
23 via Alpha Juliet Alpha Hotel Porter 527.
Runway 2571, request push and start.
171, clear to push and start.
Pushback is not approved. Runway 2571.
Air Canada 426 ready for push and start.
Air Canada 426, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, Air Canada 426.
Sunwing 2571 ready to taxi. Sunwing 2571, taxi to runway 33 right via Alpha Juliet Alpha Delta.
33 right via Alpha Juliet Alpha Delta Sunwing 2571.
WestJet 1118 ready for push and start. WestJet 1118, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, WestJet 1118.
Air Canada 42 ready for push and start. Air Canada 42, push and start approved. Push and start approved, Air Canada 42.
Air Canada 426 ready to taxi.
Air Canada 426, taxi to runway 23 via 7 Alpha Lima Alpha Hotel.
23 via 7 Alpha Lima Alpha Hotel, Air Canada 426.
Ground, Air Canada 967, taxi to parking.
Air Canada 967, taxi to parking via Juliet, cross runway 33 left, then Foxtrot, cross runway 23, then Charlie 4, Charlie Alpha, Alpha Kilo, Sierra India X-ray.
Juliet, cross runway 33 left, then Foxtrot, cross runway 23, then Charlie 4, Charlie Alpha, Alpha Kilo, Sierra India X-ray, Air Canada 967.
Alrighty. Well, that is it. Let's go up here. I'm going to
The boarding
request
requested.
the boarding. Go ahead and close the charts out. Let's go ahead and end the flight in Volanta.
Passengers bus is coming.
Volanta says that was a minus 172 with a 1.03 G's. When it comes to these trackers, sometimes it's Volanta, sometimes it's Smart Cars, but I think Smart Cars is the more accurate of the two. As you can see, we touched down at 175 a minute. Actually, it says we were a little better on Volanta, but I'll take 175, 172, average that out. Give me 173. It's within 3. I mean, it's right on the G's. It's off 4 knots on the landing speed. I should have been a little higher on the landing speed, but damn. I landed 829 meters. That's like 2,400 feet. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to stop the recording and end it here. While I go ahead and shut down the aircraft, and I will see you in the next stream. I will not be streaming this weekend. I'll be out of town. I will be back next week. We will have more CRJ ops to start the week out. And then I think we'll transition over to the 737 MAX. with some southwest ops, and we'll do some southwest hub hopping. So everybody have a great weekend, soft landings, see you in the next one.